me, Joshua Gibbs, here for TYT Sports to review Survivor Series, which just concluded a few minutes ago from Atlanta, Georgia. Let's dive right into it. Who came out as the new WWE World Heavyweight Championship? Was it Roman Reigns? Was it someone else? Let's find out. Very first match of the night, Roman Reigns versus Alberto Del Rio. This was one of the finals matches to see who was going to be one of the last two men in for the main event at the end of the evening. I anticipated this would be a pretty decent match. I predicted Roman Reigns was going to win. I think a lot of people felt that way. But what's great about this is that it's always one of these things where, well, maybe he won't. Maybe the WWE will throw something different our way. We'll get a curve and Alberto Del Rio will win. And then Zeb Coulter, who was going full Yosemite Sam with his mustache, which is almost down to his chest area, maybe they're going to end up riding into the main event. You just never know. They had some pretty good back and forth. The match wasn't too long. They didn't beleaguer the point. Roman Reigns wins with the air hug, also known as the spear. He's going on to the main event against either Kevin Owens or his buddy Dean Ambrose. Speaking of these two men, we all met them backstage where Roman Reigns was telling Dean Ambrose, hey, get ready, I'll see you in the finals. Kevin Owens shows up and says, well, what about me? We've still got a match. And it's next. So Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens come out. I liked that the show started out with those two matches. It gave the men a chance to relax for the rest of the show to get ready for the main event. And it opened it up with a bang. You had two solid matches right to begin with. Kevin Owens is a great worker. I thought he and Dean Ambrose were going to work very well together, and they did. My only problem is ever since Kevin Owens' feud with John Cena ended, his matches now seem to be very paint by numbers. His matches against John Cena were unpredictable. He was fantastic. He brought out moves that we had never seen before, especially for a man of his size. Now that he's kind of gotten into a comfortable groove, it seems that his match set has become bland and predictable. And I really hope that they get the chance to figure that out because he's capable of so much more. But the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose, comes away as the victor in this match. So the table is set. It's going to be Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose for the World Heavyweight Championship later on in the evening. But first, we had to get through several other matches, including a tag team elimination match. It was a traditional tag team elimination match where they seem to throw together a bunch of good guys versus a bunch of bad guys, and then people can get eliminated until only one tag team remains. So we had the Lucha Dragons, the Usos, and Ryback versus the greatest thing in WWE right now, the New Day, King Barrett, and Sheamus. Does anybody remember when the King of the Ring winner was actually relevant? Yeah, me neither. I don't know why the WWE has just kind of thrown away the King of the Ring off to the side, and that title really doesn't mean anything anymore. Speaking of things that don't matter, Sheamus was here as well with his Money in the Bank briefcase. Very boring, very uninteresting. Almost forgot that he was the Money in the Bank holder. But they have a match, and the match ended in a very peculiar way. At one point in the match, Big E Langston of the New Day got eliminated, seemingly got injured, and he's carried to the back by the rest of the New Day members who say, oh, we've got to go back and deal with him. Now, heels leaving a match right in the middle of it isn't new, but a lot of times they'll come back at the end and say, oh, well, we weren't ever eliminated, so technically we didn't lose. But that didn't happen this time. The New Day left, and they didn't come back, which just left Sheamus there to deal with everything himself, and the odds were overwhelming, and he lost, and New Day never again emerged. I get getting that kind of heel heat on a televised program like Raw or SmackDown, not on a pay-per-view. It just seems like lazy writing. It was just a way to end the match when you couldn't figure out a decent ending with the wrestlers involved. It was the old Monty Python adage of, hey, if you can't figure out a way to end a sketch, just blow everything up. And that's what happened. Next, we get Charlotte and Paige for the Divas Championship. The build-up to this was peculiar. There were friendships that were ended and then rekindled and all of a sudden ended again. It was very confusing, and that showed through with the crowd reaction. The crowd really didn't seem that into it, except for there were a couple of decent moments on the outside. But other than that, nobody really cared what was going on. There was no interest in the match itself. You have to build something in the storyline. You have to make me care. Why are these people having a feud? Why are they fighting in the first place? Do I care about who wins or who loses and why? And in this match, I didn't. Whether Charlotte retained or didn't retain, I didn't really care. And I had a feeling they weren't going to have her lose the belt so soon after she won it. And, of course, she didn't. Charlotte retains, and she is still your Divas champion. Whether or not they'll continue her feud with Paige, I don't know. And quite frankly, I don't care. I think it's a shame that the Divas division is still getting so disrespected on main stages like this. Although credit for the length of the match. It ran about 14 minutes, which is about 4 minutes longer than a standard Divas match gets. Next, we had Ziggler and Tyler Breeze. Ziggler is supposed to be the new coming of HBK. WWE prescribes to the adage, what is old is new again. He even went so far as to tune up the band before he tried to do a super kick where he stabs his foot down really loud on the mat. But it was all for naught, unfortunately, and he loses to Tyler Breeze, of all people. I know the WWE is keen on Tyler Breeze. They've called him up from NXT. They want him to be more of a player in this middle range of wrestlers that is dominated by a lot of really talented guys who just don't have what it takes to go over. But I thought it was strange that they would job Dolph Ziggler out to this guy. I mean, Dolph Ziggler is a former world champion, and he's losing to Tyler Breeze. Again, another match that the crowd just wasn't into it, and you could tell. The reaction wasn't there. Their faces told the story. They just didn't care who won or lost this match. Next, we get to what amounted to the main event for a lot of people, the Undertaker and Kane versus the Wyatt family. The entire show, we were reminded about the Undertaker's 25 years in the business. Regardless of your feelings for the Undertaker, 25 years is a long time to do anything. And especially something as physical as professional wrestling. Professional wrestlers will come and go for a various number of reasons. They will leave because they get hurt, and unfortunately their careers are ended because of these injuries. Or maybe they want to focus on a family or something like that. But The Undertaker has been here through injuries. He's been here through losing members of his family, through divorce and things like that. And he is still here. He is still wrestling. It's decades of destruction. So all the credit in the world to the man who has stuck into this thing for 25 years and given us such a great show. I wasn't expecting a match with a lot of bumps and falls from The Undertaker anyway, and that's exactly what we got. We got what amounted to a squash match of the Wyatt family, and I wonder when the WWE is going to give Bray Wyatt the respect he deserves. If you want him to be this face of fear and have supernatural powers and stuff, you've got to give him some signature wins, and it's got to come over somebody that matters, and it's got to come at a major pay-per-view or something like that. And they just don't seem to be doing that. All of his feuds end in a very lackluster fashion. And so if you're trying to get him over, this isn't the way to do it. But there, I don't think, was a soul on earth who thought that The Undertaker was going to lose this match at the 25th anniversary show. And he doesn't. The Wyatt family gets squashed. Kane and The Undertaker emerge the victors, walk out very slowly. Crowd was happy. They hit all the checklist that you needed to hit for an Undertaker match. They marked them all off, so you can't complain about that. Finally, we come to the main event, Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose. The specter surrounding this match was the will he or won't he? Who was going to turn heel? Or was somebody going to turn heel? The rumors, maybe Dean Ambrose is going to turn heel. He's going to side with the Authority, and that's how he's going to try to win. Maybe Roman Reigns will. Maybe this whole good guy image was a ruse, and he's going to all of a sudden turn bad. But we didn't get that. We were waiting for it, and we got a clean match. We got a match between friends and who both wanted the same thing, but only one of them can get it. And in the end, Roman Reigns wins clean, covers Dean Ambrose, match is over. Roman Reigns is your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Confetti falls from the sky, champagne's overflowing, velvet ropes are parting. Triple H comes out to congratulate the new World Heavyweight Champion. He stands in the middle of the ring, he extends his hand, and Roman Reigns rebuffs him. He just turns around, and he's getting ready to walk out, turns and looks back, and Triple H is kind of still has his hand out like, come on, just shake my hand. But instead, Roman Reigns drops the belt and spears Triple H. This got a reaction from the crowd, probably the reaction they wanted in the first place. And everybody was seeming okay with this, but it probably wasn't for the reasons we think it was. I think the crowd was reacting to Sheamus appearing behind Roman Reigns, who promptly gave him a brogue kick right to the face. Roman Reigns drops. Sheamus grabs his Money in the Bank briefcase, says he's cashing it in right here, right now. The bell rings. Sheamus covers Roman Reigns. 1, 2. Reigns kicks out. So maybe not. Maybe this will be one of the very few failed cash-in attempts. They have a very quick match. Roman Reigns is brogue kicked again in the face. Sheamus covers. 1, 2, 3. Sheamus is your new and current WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Prepare for the absolute worst and most boring title reign in WWE history. I kid you not. I don't like Sheamus. I don't like him as a wrestler. I don't think he's a good character. I don't think he's good on the mic. I don't think he's good in the ring. I think he's slow. I think he's uninteresting. And that is the worst thing you can be as a professional wrestler. So please prove me wrong. I don't think you will. You've had plenty of chances to do so, and you failed at every attempt. So your new and boring champion, Sheamus, stands in the middle of the ring, gets his hand held high by Triple H, and they leave the arena. There was a long shot of Roman Reigns sitting there receiving boos from the crowd. And to their credit, I actually felt sympathy for Roman Reigns, more so than usual. The guy's working so hard to try to get your approval, and he's still not getting it. You're literally kicking the man while he's down and pouring salt into his visible wounds, and you know he could hear the boos coming from the crowd. And even the people sitting in the front row just weren't reacting at all. They didn't feel sorry for him. They were booing him just as loudly as everybody else. So Roman Reigns has to suffer through that, and he leaves the arena very sheepishly and slowly, not as the champion as he had been just a few seconds earlier. So, as everybody had predicted, yes, Roman Reigns did become the World Heavyweight Champion for just a few moments. And then it was all taken away by the Authority and by Sheamus and Triple H. And we're going to have to see what the fallout is on Raw. Now, how are they going to work the Sheamus Roman Reigns angle? I don't know. As far as I know, there's no automatic rematch clause if you lose in the Money in the Bank fashion. So how is Roman Reigns going to work himself back into the title picture? That's the exciting part about watching Raw tomorrow night. So we'll see where they go from there. None of the other matches really had any kind of far-reaching aftershocks. This was the end to a lot of feuds like the Charlotte Paige, the Undertaker, Wyatt family. So what's going to be interesting is now that Survivor Series is over, the next big pay-per-view is WrestleMania in April of 2016. So where are we going to go from here? What matches are we going to start seeing getting set up between here and there? Well, I think a good indication will be the Raw tomorrow night. So that's all for me. Thanks again for watching. As always, I sincerely appreciate it. I read all the comments as you've seen in the previous videos, and I respond back to every single one of them. So please, please, please keep them coming. Good, bad, indifferent. If you've got questions, I've got answers. You can also follow me on Twitter at @below, and hope to see you again. Thanks again to TYT Sports. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.